The Acepos systems meant for retail businesses has got three main versions. Basic version, which is a single POS terminal only. Standard version, which can have multiple POS terminals at one shop and can manage multiple outlets. The professional version, which has got multiple POS terminals at one shop and can manage multiple outlets, but added with a separate stock system, which has got more detailed reporting on stock. This system can run on any Windows-based PC. It can be a standalone type of PC, or it can be all-in-one. We call it integrated PC, and it works together with devices such as barcode scanners, barcode printer, weighing machine if you are selling vegetables, and then also with customer pull display to show the customer how much to pay and so on. Okay, let's go into the actual system. Enter user's name with a password. Each user will be given a password. System will pick the date, and then this is the main menu. Inside here you have maintenance section where they set up all the various type of codes for different type of options like VIP accounts, promoters, GL-Link, and so on. And then we have the posting site where you can post, actually issue bills, you can post stock purchases, staff attendance, and so on. And we have got the reports. All the reports that you can get under the system is done here. And then there is an other section where we have administrative tool to configure the system and so on. And the last option is to exit the system. So let's go to the maintenance option first. First one, you have VIP. This option is where you can create accounts for individual VIP account, or you can create types of credit card that accept in the system and or staff accounts. So let's look at the VIP account. You can create different accounts with different numbers. Let's say it's VIP, for example, this particular person. Ahmad, you can see here we enter all the names, if it's a business registration number, SST, addresses, and so on. And then also if you are using smart cards, for example, we can actually use smart card machine where you can scan a smart card. You can actually create the smart card number for this account as well. On page 2 you will have all the e-invoice details. For example, what is their TIN number, their tax indication number, tax identification number, their IC or business number, and so on. Now these are details that required for submission of e-invoice. Now for VIP accounts, you can actually give them special discount. That means every time you do a sale and you put in the VIP account, it can be discount by percentage in this case, for example. And then it can also be by a package code. That means you can set up a special promotion which ties to a certain package. So you can attach these packages into different individual VIP accounts. So you can actually, through this method, classify even different type of VIP accounts with different sales promotion package, and there can be an effective date for the promotion package as well. Or you can have inside your system, for example, in your stock item, if you are having different, we have 3 different type of prices that is set for the stock item. You can actually indicate that for this particular VIP, which price would you use? Is it 1, 2, or 3? So these are features that you can build into your VIP account. Now in the system, if you're accepting different types of credit card, for example, or even e-wallet, right, you can create different types of cards. Let's say, for example, here you see if you are accepting American Express, Diners, and so on. Now this is a different type of payment type that you accept. So it can be also e-wallet if you're accepting different type of e-wallet. So you have to create the account inside here so that the system will know that these are different type of payment that you accept in this particular system. Now the next option is promoters. You can have different sales people. For example, you want to track sales by different sales people. During your sales, you can actually input the promoter code, and then from there the system will know that who is the promoter in charge of sales, and then you can actually have a simple, for example, percentage of commission given to this particular promoter whenever a sales has been done by this particular person. The next option available is the GL-Link accounts. These are actually analysis of sales accounts, different type of sales, which you can forward the total sales entry to the ACE general ledger system or to some other accounting system. This is where we extract all the total net sales figure for you for accounting purposes. So you can set up different accounts inside here. Now this retail version standard also incorporate all your stocks code management inside here. That means there's no separate stock system. In the professional version, the stock will be in a separate system altogether. But inside this standard version, stock is inside here. You can have, for example, maintain multiple locations. If you have different locations, you have more than one location selling your stock items, that means multiple outlets, you create a code for each location. Then you will have the actual stock items maintenance. You can hide your cost with your password. Now this is a stock maintenance screen. For example, when you're creating, it can be creating for all locations, for example, or just one location, you can do that. And then inside here, you can create different stock codes, different type of item. Now for each particular stock code, we have got separation by three classification. One is department, product category, and group. I will show you later how do you actually create all these difficult. So you can classify your product by this type of classification so that you can analyze your sales. So for example, you're selling household, you can create a department called household. If you're selling kitchenware, you can have a department called kitchenware, and so on. So all your sales analysis will follow this classification here. Then of course we have the actual barcode. If you don't have a barcode for the product, the system can actually print a barcode. You create a stock code, the system will convert the stock code into barcode. Then there are 3 lines of description. And then you can have multiple packing. For example, you may sell in boxes and units. So you can create how many units in a box, or you can sell. Then you can put the pricing either by box or by piece, or by the highest denomination, which is in box. Then you can enter your last cost as well. So from the last cost, once you have entered the last cost here, whenever you sell some item, the system will know how much profit you make, so you can get sales analysis with profit as well because of this particular factor. Then we can link this to which GL link. Remember just now earlier I was saying about the GL, so you can actually analyze if this item is sold, which sales account should it go to, or which purchase account should it go to. Then there's for e-invoicing, there's something called e-class. These are the various type of classification given by the LHDN. So you have to follow if you which is your product, which class does your product belongs to, is it e-commerce and so on. If you're not sure, put everything in the others. And then we have the selling price. There are 3 levels, 1, 2, 3. So you may be using price 1 for normal customers. Price 2 is a special VIP customers. Remember just now earlier I mentioned about VIP. This is how you can separate different price. And then on the next page, you can actually specify whether when your promoter sell this item, do they get commission or not? Yes or no. You can put inside here as well. So some items maybe you don't give commission. So under the stock, there are a lot of other options. For example, duplicate new stock. When you start a new location, all you have to do is just use this particular thing called duplicate new stock to new location, so you don't have to key in all the stock codes again. You open new location, you just separate duplicate from existing location. You can update. Sometimes you change certain information. You can update the stock master detail to all location. You can change selling price to different location. You can change certain type of stock setting by range. That means one particular item you want to change something and you want to update to all locations. So this is for managing multiple outlets. Or you can delete some stock that you don't want from multiple location, or you can have additional barcode. Now what is additional barcode? Some items when you buy from manufacturers, when they first came out, it was one particular barcode. Later on, when they changed the additional barcode, but it's the same item, you can create additional barcode pointing to the same stock item. Now analysis type is where you can create different departments and product category and so on. Remember earlier I was mentioning, so you can see these are the departments I have inside my product. Okay, or you can have, for example, product category, different type of categories of product. So you can use, how you use this is depend on how you want to analyze the sale. It could be a brand, it could be a supplier. So you can use certain one of these level of classification to indicate whatever you want, how you want to analyze your sales. Now next we have setting up promotion table by specific item by itself. This is like you set up a whole promotion package for all the range of products that you have. So there are different types. You can be normal discount, best buy, for example. So you can choose which are the product that you want to set from what date to what date, when is this available, or is it a special promotion package apply only to VIP only. And then you can plug all type of products inside the promotion table. So you can add items, which is items that you add. For example, you allow for promotion, you can filter specifically, say this month you're doing all sorts of music items, okay, and you want you click a button, you see all the music items will come out. And then if you are giving special promotion, let's say you're selecting all, you come over here, you can see selected. So inside here, what is the special discount you're giving? For example, is it going to be a special discount? Tick all, for example, and then you can do a saving. These are special promotion that you are doing for selected account. So you can create accounts like this for promotion, and then you can for example have a specific item. You can have same item quantity discount. That means if you buy the same item, how much is the discount? Selected item quantity discount, rebate for specific item, purchase with purchase, selected group quantity discount. See, there are many types of promotion you can set. Once you set this up in the promotion table, whenever you scan item, system will automatically apply whichever promotion based on which one you choose. There is a setting that says which priority take first. That means quantity discount take priority, or is it normal discount take priority. So this is how you set up automated promotion table for all your items. Now you have other options. For example, if you're managing multiple outlets, you may say do transfer. So when you do transfer, is it because stock take adjustment, or is it production, or is it transfer, just a standard transfer stock from one location to another? Remember, this is multiple locations. So these are reasons that you can set inside here. Right, what kind of transfer that you actually have. Then we have got currency table. If you are selling to multiple different type of customers who come from overseas and so on, you can set up different exchange rates, Singapore dollars or USD and so on. You can set different exchange rates so that when you receive the payment, you automatically convert. Then we have got a list of suppliers, because inside the system you also post your purchases. So when you post purchases, if you track it by indicated by different suppliers, what happens is that we will also analyze the purchase analysis for you. That means based on the last purchase, what sort of price that you bought from different supplier for different stock products. Now, if you have been recording your VIP accounts here regularly, you can actually use this option called SMS. You can set up SMS. For example, you want to send up some kind of message, you can add a new message for SMS. You can say new marketing messages, for example, and then you can type uh, what is the product this month we are having. A special promotion and so on. So you can actually send this type of promotion to your customers via SMS. Of course, you have to sign up for SMS service. You can also send out promotion through email. So you can do a broadcast. That means use this feature to send out to your regular customers. Of course, they must be VIP accounts holders, and then tell them that this month what promotion you are having. So this will help you to increase your sales, to bring the customers back to your shop to buy. So this is a very useful feature for remarketing. Now, if you're managing multiple outlets from this one main system, this import and export function is for the purpose of sending out, updating latest stock prices and so on to multiple outlets. So the way you can send this will be via emails, or it can be a direct link if it's connected to a network, to a VPN network, for example. Or we have another system called async, which will automatically sync it to the use of internet connection by itself automatically. So this will be managing multiple outlets functions. Export is to send out, import is to import. For example, sales transaction that comes from the outlet automatically will come inside the system. Okay, let's go to the next section, the posting section. First, issuing of bills. Enter today's date, how much of cash float you put inside the system. The system will print out an activation slip. So you're supposed to keep this slip, and when you deactivate, this slip should be matched together with the deactivation slip. Then you will come to the main sales bill issuing screen. Inside here, you can have VIP accounts. For example, if this person coming to a shop is a VIP, enter the VIP account. And then if you switch on the promoter who is doing these sales, now this can be switched off and on, these promoters, this particular entry. Then scan your product. Just scan your product. Don't have to type, or you can of course type. You can scan your product. This is a barcode, for example, or if you're not sure what is a code, you can type, for example, any description, anything that matches the description, it will come out. You see, you can. It's very easy to sell. Then, when you want to do a payment, you press an escape button. We'll try to advise you to use the keyboard only, because you're doing retail. So instead of using a mouse, going to the mouse, or using of course, if you have a touchscreen, you can use touchscreen. Then use the mouse. Then how much you pay. So this is the payment screen. If the person is giving you 100 ringgit, for example, put 100 ringgit, and then you press the F9 key. If you're using a keyboard, we use that. Now, if you have got VIP, actually, once you have chosen the VIP, you can actually see the history of what he has bought from you before. So you want to see all items, you can see, you see, all the items that bought from you and what price. So you have VIP, you have this advantage. And actually, when you have VIP and you're tracking all the purchases from you, you actually know how much money you make, how much profit you make from all the sales that's by individual VIP. So you can also select one particular item. You can say, I want to view the previous bill. You can see the entire bill. This bill is stored in the system. Okay, or you can choose by specific item, maybe just particular item. When they buy this item, you see the incidences of buy item. These are things that will come out. You can see the price on what date, how much you sell to him. So this is the advantage when you have got VIP. You are tracking everything, you see. Then the thing will be normal. You can scan whatever product. Okay, let's say you are selling two items now, and then the person is paying by credit card. It can be credit card. You see, these are the cards that you set up earlier. So let's say if you're accepting Visa or Master, and we can actually link this to a actual credit card machine. Okay, but only certain credit card machines supplied by certain supply, because there's software interfacing. You see, if you don't have, then you can do a manual input like this. System will print out bill, show that it's paid by cards. And then there's also points. You can actually have points for individual customer. If you switch on a points gathering, that means something like 1 ringgit to 1 point and so on, you can actually pay and redeem points. This is something you can switch on and switch off in the system. It's configurable. Now, if you are canceling items, for example, while you're issuing a bill, all right, you can actually control it with the use of password. Let's say this particular item is wrongly scanned. When you want to delete it, can ask the authorized person to enter a password. Now, why do we do this? This is for you to track who has been deleting items from bills, so that there is a report that tells you who has deleted what items on what day. So this is for you to track, because deleting items is reduction of cash in the balance of a till. So this is important. So if you enter the correct password, that means you're authorized to delete, then you can delete the item. So this is something that we actually control inside here. Okay, inside this screen, there are a lot of other functions. When you press the F5 button, for example, you can see you can search by additional barcode. You can see all this type of stuff. You can do searching. You can have a lot of other functions like description, or you can have check out what is the cash balance now in the till. Okay, you can see if you have password, you can see you're authorized to see how much balance of cash you have right now. And then you have got other functions like payout. For example, if you're paying something very small, taking out cash for newspapers or stationery, something, you can do a payout. You can do a safe drop. If your cash is very high already in the cash drawer, you want to keep it in the safe somewhere, do a safe drop. You can cancel an entire bill, or you can reprint the bill. These are all functions that you have. And you can pay a deposit for something. For example, later on somebody ordered something, pay a deposit. Later when it comes back, you can match off the deposit and then pay the balance. Okay. And also, if somebody wants an e-invoice, for example, you can do a request for e-invoice, indicate what is the bill number that you want to e-invoice. For example, this bill wanted an e-invoice. You can press let's say this particular bill, press and enter, and then the system will try. If it's a VIP account which you already have its tax detail, you will try to submit the invoice straight away. If it's not a regular VIP customer who doesn't have his TIN number and so on, then you will do a different way. So let's say this particular one is here, Arshad, for example, is a regular customer. Immediately the invoice is submitted for him if the internet connection, everything and so on is good. Now, assuming the internet is down at that moment when you couldn't submit, the system will retry again on its own later. So you can see this is actually invoice. There's a barcode. If you scan, there's a QR code. If you scan the QR code, you actually show the invoice detail that has been submitted to the LHDN server itself. So what happens if there is a request for e-invoice by a person who is not your regular customer, doesn't have VIP account? For example, this 103. You select this particular bill. Okay. Now, since we don't have his details about his tax and so on, we will give him a bill with a QR code. So the person is supposed to scan this QR code. It will bring him to a website which we have prepared for the users to actually key in all their personal details. That means they have to key in their tax number, your NRIC, the details that is needed for invoice submission. And once that is done, the system will detect that that particular person has already filled up details on the website. It will submit that particular invoice for them and turn it into an invoice for them, and 24 hours later they can scan the same QR code in this particular bill, and then they can download their e-invoice in PDF form. So this is for customers who are not regular customers. We don't have their INRIC numbers and so on, but they have requested for e-invoice. So this is how we handle those e-invoices for this type of customers. Now, if the customers come back to your shop and says, I don't know how to download my e-invoice and so on, actually there is an option for us to print the e-invoice for them as well. If you know the bill number, they bring back the old bill number. Let's say this is the one that they wanted. You press a button, then you can actually print the e-invoice for them. Same thing, they can take this scan and you can see the invoice details submitted to the LHDN server. Now, at the end of the cashiering session, you can come out. Are you sure you want to exit? They will ask for a password. Maybe sometimes only managers can come and let the cashier exit the system, so the manager can watch the comparison of the cash in hand. You can see there's cash in hand listed out. At the same time, a list will be printed out on the collection for this current session. So what we have inside here will be how much cash, how many bills were issued, from what bill number to what number, how much collected by cash, by card, e-wallet, and so on. So immediately print out, cashier can count the cash, so short or extra. It depends on your company's policy, what you do with it. Whether there's any cancellation, who did the cancellation, the system is all listed. If it's paid by any Visa cards or credit cards and so on. So this list is now combined with the activation list earlier, remember, and then clip together, and then let's close the session for this particular cashier. Now, other options under the posting section here, you can have staff attendance. That means you can have the staff, if they have their own staff code, you want to record down the attendance, what time do they come in, and so on. They can clock in. It's like a clocking system. You can have members points. Sometimes the members want to come and then top up some points. They pay you money and so on, or you can redeem some points. You can actually do this if your point system is switched on. This is not automated. It's inside a configuration whether the system switch on the points or not. Okay, and then you have e-invoice consolidation. Now, for those customers, because you are in the business to consumer, B2C business, for those consumer who came in and asked for e-invoice, their invoices issued to them will be individually submitted as e-invoice. The balance of those who are not submitted, who did not request for e-invoice, you have to once a month consolidate this into one invoice called a consolidated e-invoice and submit to the income tax department before the 7th of day of the next month. So this function is for that option. The system will remind you if you have not done your consolidation for the last month. It will keep reminding you until the 5th. And by the time the 5th comes and you still want to omit this submission, the system will ask you for the administrator password to show that you have authority to bypass this submission. So this is for submission of consolidated e-invoice. Now, since this retail version standard also include the stock management, that means you can do your stock purchases inside here. Enter the cost, print or booking, for example, what is the product you are entering on which day, what is the bill number from which supplier. You can actually post all the which location is your products coming in, what is the barcode that you buy, this product for example, how many are you buying. Say I'm buying 100 units, at what price, what's your cost, if your cost has changed, enter your new cost, and then enter the next product, okay, for example, and then this one you buy say 50 units at what cost, and so on. So this is for post your purchases. Now once you post the purchases, system will add into the stock balance. So when you do your sales earlier through the sales invoice, the system will actually deduct the stock automatically. So that's how you can manage your stock control in your entire system itself. Now you can also do stock take. If you're doing stock take exercise, that means you do a stock take. Inside here, you can enter all the various product that you have, do a stock take. So the system will automatically adjust the balance to the correct based on your stock take figure. You can do stock take. Now if you're managing, if this is a HQ system managing multiple outlets, you can do stock transfers. That means you can transfer from, you can actually print a transfer form. For example, you're transferring stock from which outlet, for example, if from HQ to a second outlet, you can actually do this. See, and then which are the item you are transferring. So how many are you transferring? Say 5 units, for example, this particular product. Which product are you transferring? this particular product, you're doing 5 units and so on, and then you can do a posting and you can print out an actual transfer form. See, so when you're managing multiple outlets with this, you can actually do all the transfers inside the system itself. So you're managing different outlets and you can have a form that follow your goods and transfer it, send by transport to the other outlets. So this is what the stock transfer option is for. Okay, let's go to the report section and see what sort of reports you can get from this system. First, you have a daily sales report. Now, the system is able to automatically send this daily sales report to you via email. You can set up what time you want to send up. So to the managers and to the bosses, you can actually get this report maybe once a day, twice a day, or the end of the day. Automatically, you send a report. So, for example, you can get this daily sales report by a day. The system will actually send it out by email, or you can print out from here. You can see all the product that is sold and it's analyzed by various departments. Any discount given, and then what is the percentage contribution of sales for the day. So this is a daily sales report by product. Then we have another report called post-transaction report. Now this post-transaction report actually is very detailed. It's a detailed report. It's like an audit list. Every bill, what was sold, what time was the bill open, what time was it closed, everything is inside here. You can detail. So when some manager want to audit the transaction for the day, this is the report that you will print out, the post-transaction report. So you will show everything that is being sold, and if you have the password, you will enter and show you the cost. Even if you have the password for the cost, you can see your profit done that you have earned based on individual bill. So this is very detailed. This is called the post-transaction report. Next report, peak hour sales report. This shows you what are the usual time your customers come into your shop. So from there you can analyze. Maybe you want to throw some promotion to attract people to come in when you are not so busy time. So based on this report, you will know. And then it also show you details. For example, what is the total number of bills within the period that you selected, from what date to what date, and then what are the number of items sold, what is the average sales value of each bill, what is the number of items your customer come in and buy from your shop. So these are very important information you can use to analyze and then decide to do what sort of marketing campaign based on this type of information that you get from here, peak hour sales. Then we have promoters. Remember earlier, if you switch on the promoters to analyze the sales by individual promoters, you can actually see the bills that were attributed to different your own promoters, your salesperson, so called. Okay, and if you are paying them commission, this is how they base. This is the sales figure they base on to calculate their commission. See, promoters commission, for example, if you're paying them commission based on their sales they've done, they will calculate the commission, how much commission to pay to individual salesperson. If you are practicing this, this all can be switched on or switched off depending on how you want the system to run. Now this promoter sales report is a much more detailed report compared to the earlier one. The earlier one was just showing you by promoter, by your salesperson, in general total sales value only for year to date and month to date. But this one shows you the items sold by individual promoter. So maybe you're in a special trade where the item sold is very important. This report will give you a lot of insight into how your promoters, your salespersons are doing, because it will show you the items that is sold by them, and then if you enter your cost password, it can actually tell you the amount of profit that you made from each of the items that they have sold. So this is a very detailed report. And then the next report is a GL-Link report. Remember earlier I mentioned to you that the GL-Link is a summary of all the accounting entries. So the total sales, credit total sales, and then debit, is it paid by cash and so on. This is the summary of all the accounting entries that need to be posted into the either our own accounting, which is ACE accounting, which will automatically transfer all these figures over, or you have some using some other accounting system, you can just plug the figures from here and enter manually directly into those accounting system. It gives you a summary of all accounting entries needed to be posted based on the sales from this post retail system. Next report, payment analysis. You can analyze what's our total payment by cash, by card, or by account and so on, or by all. Okay, and can choose range of date. The system will actually analyze and show you how much for payment by cash that you receive on what day, and how much of cash credit card payments were charged based on individual day. So this is called the payment analysis report for you to reconcile your collection. Then there's another report by cashier. You want to know on which cashier, choose a range of date. You can choose range of date, period range of date, and then you will show you which cashier actually collected how much of money and the cash, credit card, and so on. So this ties back the responsibility to the cashier based on the collection for the day. Now next we come to a most important set of report, the management reports. Under management report, you can analyze by annual sales. If you can know the cost password, enter cost password. There are level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let's say level 1, choose a range of date. Of course, you have choose a range of date, and the system will analyze for you the total sales by department, highest level, because you choose level 1. So department sales will tell you how much. For example, in this example, total music, what were the products that under music that you sold, what's sales, and then because I enter the cost password, I can actually know my profitability by this department. So I have 40% profit from music, I have 54% from video. Now if you go to level 2, okay, you will drill one step lower. Remember earlier you have department, product category, and groups. So this one will show department and product category. So if I analyze my product category, for in this case it's like brand, Sony Music, and Warner Brothers, I actually know how much money I made, percentage money I made, and percentage I made from Sony Music products or from Warner Brothers product, and total I made is how many percent. Okay, this is true. So if I go down to level 3, if I did use level 3, you will drill down even one more layer down. See, I have, for example, rock and roll, country music. Under this department music, Sony Music, I've got rock and roll, Warner Bros., I got country, and so on. So again, drill down further, even to lower. Now, if I go to level 4, which is very detailed, it actually show me all the individual product under each category. So now from here, you can see your product profitability. That means from these Power Rangers, for example, I made 49% profit. How much profit I made? What's my total sales? And what's the total quantity sold? So this is a very detailed report. Level 5 is by day. It tells you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, what are the sales. So it gives you an indication what day in your shop is more popular with your customers coming in. Again, of course, your percentage of sales contribution and profit percentage as well. Okay, next important report is, remember earlier I mentioned that when you cancel some things, you can actually choose range of date. You can see who cancel what items. So this is important for you to track. Who actually has authority to cancel, what did they cancel, how much money were involved. So this will give you a detail. So that's why the authorization through password will list out in this particular report, so you know who is responsible for what sort of cancellation. Now cancellation means your reduction of cash in the till, right, if it involves cash. So this is a very important point that you need to control. Then we have a discount report. Who gave discount? If anybody did give discount, who gave discount, what day? You also get the details of all the discount that were given by whom. Who was the supervisor or authorizee? Who was the cashier at that time, or what date and time, right? All this you need to manage, because so that you do not allow your staff to simply give discount unless it's authorized. Now other reports here, item discount, it tells you the item discount, and if you have deposit listing, if you have safe drop up, you give you a listing. GST at the moment is not activated anymore. Operation audit trail, who did what, okay, and then e-invoice submission. Now if e-invoice submission for some reason fail, or whatever reason, you can see from this report what is the reason why it failed. See, the system will tell you, for example, there's no internet at that point during this date when you first submitted, and what is documents pending for validation. And then if it's validated, you'll be submitted and then validated on what day, so you know that the invoice has been approved. So those pending submission means the system has not started to do the submission yet for different invoices. So this is a report you can use to check any invoice submission that has not gone through, and what is the reason why it has failed. Now we also have staff attendance report. Remember earlier your staff clock in, you have a list of members, who are your usual regular customers, what type of sales analysis that you buy, what kind of members point, how much points they have already obtained. All these are inside here. Then we have your stock. Now since this system is managing the stock as well, you have a list of stock. You can actually even print barcodes. If you link it to a barcode printer, you can see that we can convert all the barcode for you into stickers. Now we also sell ready stickers like this in A4 form. So if you are printing a barcode is not very high volume, you can actually use a normal laser printer, buy our stationery, and you can print your barcode yourself. No need to invest in a barcode printer. Of course, the barcode printer will print faster. Then we have got other things related, for example, stock balance. If you enter your course password, you can check your stock balance by individual product. Right, this will give you a total stock value for the month and so on. Now other stock reports, you'll be like stock sales analysis. Okay, if for those bills that's been updated, actually from here you can extract a list of all the stocks based on the items that is sold. And you can even report this in ranking order. Minimum, that means, for example, by ranking order, is it based on year-to-date sales or month-to-date sales, and then it's based on quantity or sales value and so on. Let's say it's based on this case sales, so they'll put the top sales right on top for you, and it goes down in descending order. Then you have a reorder report. If you're managing your stock, if you put in the minimum stock report for individual items, minimum stock quantity, for example, and then the system will track and trace those items that has fall below the minimum quantity and tell you that this particular item, minimum quantity, you're short by how much you have to buy. So it helps you to manage your stock, what to reorder as well. Now remember earlier you're doing postings of purchases inside your system. So based on this, we have a list of suppliers, we have a purchase price, what's the last purchase price. We also have a very important report, which is a purchase analysis. That means from which particular customer, okay, based on which account that you want to select, you can see all the purchases you buy from them. You see, based on month to date, year to date, what were the pieces they buy and what is the cost they bought from them. So you know the total purchases you bought from each individual supplier. So this report is also part of this system as well. Okay, basically we come to the end of this presentation on the features, the reports, and everything. And now there's one thing I like to highlight inside here. Under administrative tools, you can actually set up multiple users. That means you have different cashier, for example, you set them different cashiers. What is the password they're going to give them, and so on. You can delete or you can enter. You can set up different users. And then under each user, you can say what this user can do. Under here, set access right, you can say, okay, Wong, for example, what can you do? Oh, you can do this, but you cannot do this. You can block items that you don't want them to do. Posting, you can only do posting, but you cannot do this invoice consolidation. You cannot do purchase order. You cannot do stock purchase. Okay, you can assign different rights to different users. Okay, just apply. Then when they log in a different user, those things that are blocked in their setup, they will not be able to access. Now, one more feature I want to explain here is under system setup for e-invoicing, we need to key in your company's detail. That means this is your company detail. We need to know your tax number, your business registration number, if you have SST, if you have tourism, what is your MSIC code, and so on. These are details that is needed for e-invoice submission. And then there is a test server, which is called pre-production server. It can be a test server, it can be an actual server. Okay, if you are using us as an intermediary, meaning in your MyTax portal you have to add a software as your intermediary, then we will do an automatic submission for you to the LHDN server for you using our codes. So we are acting on your behalf, in other words. So you have to appoint us. Now I've got another video explaining how you can appoint us as your intermediary. So this can be when you first start the system, you can use under test server. You can see all the invoices coming out on test server. Once it's ready, you can switch it to an actual server and you can say what is the date you want to start your e-invoice submission. And there's also another point here, auto export daily sales. I mentioned earlier for the bosses, for example, upon exit the system, please send me or the email report for daily sales. So inside here, you can have something called email text where you can edit who are the managers supposed to get the daily sales report. You can actually set this up and the system will automatically send out the daily sales to these managers when you exit the system. So this is another point. Now the rest of this, there's a lot of other system setup. We use this to configure the system for you, depending on what sort of devices you're using, post operation, whether it's automatically online update and so on. All these are used by us to configure the system for you. So when you exit the system, if you set to auto export, you can see the system will try to export the daily sales straight away to the managers.